All right, Reenie, let's go. Reenie is my little Schnauzer Terrier mix. She looks just like a Muppet. All right, then let's go. This is Sustainable Events Dog Walk, a short podcast from Positive Impact Event Consulting, where you can get a quick nugget about sustainability for your events and event business while on a walk with Alycia and her dog Reenie. Sustainability is a big project, but we'll get there together, one little step at a time. Hello, friend. I hope you are well and getting on with 2025 nicely. I figured today I could talk a little bit about accessibility. It's been coming to mind on not in-event accessibility, but marketing, communication, those sorts of things. There's lots and lots of places that accessibility can be applied and evaluated, so we'll come to it many times. But today, let's talk about it from sort of an internal business standpoint with a focus on marketing, because there's a couple of really easy things that can be changed or added to what you're doing to make what you're working on way more accessible. So first of all, I want to kind of talk a bit about let's say a socially nervous part about accessibility and inclusivity, which is I want to be really careful for the feelings of everyone, but you have probably already felt a bit from me that I am also pretty open to just saying things how they are. And maybe I will defend myself first with a little bit of exposure about me so that you have a better understanding of where I'm coming from. My younger brother is disabled with a terminal degenerative disease that is genetic. So he was born with this genetic condition, and by the time he was 10, he was already showing pretty big disability for a kid. So it is, like I said, degenerative. So at this point in his life, we are both in our 30s. He is no longer able to care for himself independently. So I've had a lot of exposure to accessibility through, parking lots and wheelchair access and door sizes and aisle sizes and all of that sort of physical disability. I also grew up in an environment where it was very much part of our life, so we can be pretty blunt about it. So my thought processes are pretty blunt about the topic. So this is where we're coming from to talk about accessibility. We're not talking about physical environment for your event today, but that gives you a bit of a comprehension of where I'm coming from, because much like with diversity and inclusion, a lot of us struggle to feel compassionate to how people are not being included. And we also struggle to empathize with a situation that we have not experienced. And that's just basic human psychology. That is our brain, but also we can overcome it with conscientious thought. Okay, so caveats under control. Here's the part where I might make you feel socially uncomfortable or exposed. You may have thought, people who should be coming to my events or receiving my marketing are already included. Why do I need to make a special effort? You might think that this circumstance does not accommodate these people, and therefore they should go to the places that are designed to accommodate them more closely, as opposed to be part of this generic population that I perceive myself as talking to. You probably never had those thoughts articulated so precisely in your mind that you would dare to say them out loud. But the thing is, inclusivity, especially accessibility inclusivity, is about widening the net so that even people who are starting to have a change in their life, or people who are associated with your audience, are still able to access the information, get the details that they need. You never want to exclude people because you didn't think about the extenuating circumstances that would have applied. And at the beginning, especially, this is a common sensation as we strive to include more people, is it feels like you're being put out and having to do tons of extra work, and it's making your life really hard. But luckily, this one is one that you don't have to do tons of self-growth and personal work in order to succeed at. I've been in that situation. I am very empathetic to the knee-jerk frustration. But in this case, just to give you that little inkling so you can say give your mind this reason to kind of let go of the resistance and just go ahead and start looking for solutions, is What if your ideal client that you're trying to communicate with your marketing has an assistant who part of the time uses reading aids on their computer to help supplement their access to work because of any number of reasons? It's not our job to know what the reason is, but if they need reading aids sometimes and your ideal client is going to not get your invitation on their calendar because you didn't format your email or your website, something that would have taken you 6 minutes, you're going to feel very frustrated by that. And also, you'll never find out. That's the other thing about inclusivity is you, the person who is creating the event or creating the invitation, the communications, the likelihood is you will not hear from the people that you were excluding because A, they don't want to have to spend their life training people what inclusivity is, and because so few people are willing to take up their energy sending in the nasty emails that we all fear getting, and we still get them. So that just goes to show how many people want to send them, that 95% of people don't even send the nasty email. So in a 10-minute podcast, I've spent 6 minutes talking about backstory and caveats because I know we're going to be coming back to this so much. But the key here, and the reason I brought it up, is when you're making your marketing materials on email, website, social media, there's a couple of really simple things that you can do that will start spreading your net a lot wider from an inclusivity standpoint. They are something that you can add to your routine and very easily like give yourself a little pat on the back that like, wow, I'm actually doing something good and beneficial for my community and for my business, and it's not hard. I rock. Those things are writing alt text for your images. That is descriptions, physical descriptions of images, not whimsical, but like literal physical descriptions for people who cannot necessarily see the images. So if they have a computer reading out descriptions of what's happening, otherwise it'll just say image and they'll be like, okay, but what's it an image of? Was it crucial for me to understand what's going on? And that especially includes on your website or your social media. If you are posting images of quotes, be sure to type out the text of those quotes into your captions and your alt text and run your images, marketing materials, email. You may have to like take a screenshot of an email to do a test with it, but Google for legibility checkers. I think BYU has a really good one. They are little programs where you upload your image and it does a check to see how people with impaired vision may or may not be able to read your image. So if it is a red text on a purple background and someone with a color blindness is just straight up never going to read that, you can find out before you put it in your email. And the thing is, everyone wants better legibility. So you might feel stylistically limited, but it is a really good choice and it's going to help everything that you're doing. So do it on your website, do it for your social graphics, do it for your emails, especially because emails, there's no going back and fixing that. And it just creates a really bad taste in people's mouth, you know, to have something that they can't read. So those are my easy, quick, just add them to your routine, add it to the checklist, write your alt text descriptions as you make things, add it to every part of your website, do it on the back end of your emails and on your socials. That one's a little bit more time consuming. And some people put them in captions so that they don't have to be worried about it. Some people use programs that will let them add it or go into the settings as they post individual posts. I don't know. I can look and see if there's resources that have strong opinions on which of those is preferable. Obviously, there's no harm in both, but something is a lot better than nothing. And my guess is right now you're on nothing. So there you have it, a little bit to get started, to make your business more accessible. And you never know. Once you start being the event planner or event business that is accessible to people, even just at this basic level, visually through your marketing, you could be the only one who's doing it and suddenly get a wave of clients who go, wow, no one who has ever taken the time to include us in their marketing before. Here I am with cash money, So thank you for checking in on another week of Sustainable Events Dog Walk. If you have any questions or want me to address something on the podcast, please do use my Google form or email address from the podcast notes to let me know. I do accept voice notes if you'd like to verbalize your question, and I look forward to checking in with you next time with a new sustainability topic. Thanks for joining me on Sustainable Events Dog Walk. I'm Alycia Drewby, founder of Positive Impact Event Consulting, and I want to help you integrate sustainability into your event business so you're ready to make every event you work on more sustainable. See you next time.